Good morning, everybody. It's Marcia from Oils and Wellness with Marcia, and today the topic is "How Did I Get Here?" from Braun by Dave Braun. It's hard to believe it is just 3 years ago I made the call. The image in my mind is as clear today as it was then. Earlier that night, I was sound asleep in my uncomfortable bed. It is in this discounted motel. I wasn't on vacation. This was my home. I didn't pay by the night. I paid by the month. The sound was loud and abrupt. I thought someone was breaking into my room. Startled, I jumped up to see what was happening. I looked out the window and saw the police was battering the ram, breaking into the adjoined room. This was so real and deeply humbling at the same time. All I can remember thinking is, how did I get here? This was a few short stories earlier. I had it all. I was a married man with 5 beautiful kids. I had 7 years of college, a net worth of over $2 million, and a $1.4 million house in the foothills and the mountains. How did this happen? How did I end up in this crap motel where most residents paid by the hour? At that moment, I knew I needed to reach out to someone. I reflected on all the relationships in my past for just the right resource. I was embarrassed and was looking at that and was looking to be judged, but rather nudged in the right direction. As dark and as everything felt around me, I always maintained the sense that things are going to be okay. In my core, I just knew I needed to get back to the path that I had strayed from some time ago. I thought back to my internship 15 years earlier and the guy I knew back then. You probably knew that guy. You probably knew a guy like him. I remember one of our mutual friends tossing him a golden horseshoe about the size of a $50 and telling him to stick it up his ass so he could have matching set. You know that guy, lucky with zeros on the end. Everything he touched seemed to turn to gold. He was just lucky, or so I thought. During my internship, as I spent time talking with him and learning from him, I realized it just wasn't simple luck. He worked hard at keeping his life in balance. He made a conscious effort to grow into important areas in his life. The reflection connected with me to the path of pursuit of Ula. I knew whom I needed to call. I walked outside and looked at my neighbor's door, which was dented from the battering ram. I remembered thinking of the door, looking how it felt. I walked through the rim of the lights from the police car reflecting off the building around me and made my way to the alley protected from the wind. I remember it was cold outside, but I was not cold. I was humbled, ashamed, and oddly optimistic, all at the same time. I had the phone in my hand hoping to gain the courage to make the call. I knew it was the call I needed to make. I felt it. With vulnerability, I called the LiQWYD, G-U-R-U, Guru. The LiQWYD. The call was exactly the one I needed to make at exactly the time I needed to make it. I hadn't opened with the LiQWYD in quite a while. Miles and months had come between us, and this one phone call revealed how our paths had diverged. At one time, we were almost of one mind. We had similar dreams, goals, and aspirations. But while my life hit rock bottom, the LiQWYD seemed to have it all. The LiQWYD is a very private guy. He's far from shy, but his anatomy is based on humility. He listens more than he talks. And let's just say that he has what most of the world wants. He has always been the guy in the group who looked to when we wanted to up our game in any category of life. He is completely debt-free by the age of 40. He has been married to the same gal whom we met in kindergarten, by the way, for more than 26 years. He formerly retired at 42 and now does what he wants when he wants. I remembered when we couldn't run a mile. When he couldn't run a mile, he then set his mind to it, began running marathons, and even completing an Ironman. He spends a ton of time with his kids and works on his faith, dare I say, faithfully. His personal passion is travel, and he has been for over 50 countries. He has been to over 50 countries and counting. Sounds like fiction, but he is the LiQWYD. When I called him, he was in his winter home in Arizona. I did most of the talking, and he did most of the listening. I needed to talk, and he was good at listening. After an hour of dumping my problems on him, all I can remember was him saying, "Well, I think you have found the bottom. The good news is it's up to you from now. It's up from now. Up from now." He then told me a story about how they designed the car so you can see both in front and behind you. They provide a rear view mirror, which is small but adequate. The front windshield is large and unobstructed. It's designed so you can easily see what's ahead. He pointed out how the views ahead and behind are designed to scale. You do need to look forward from time to time. Look behind you from time to time, but only briefly. The majority of the energy and focus, however, should be in the windshield in front of you. In that moment, I learned that my life is the same way. I do need to look at my past, but only briefly from time to time, and only to learn from it. The majority of my time should be spent looking forward, planning where I am going. Just like the Ula Seeker, you may be going through a season 2. Me. If life has you feeling battered but hopeful, realize that where you are now is simply where you are, not who you are. You are designed for greatness, Your challenges don't define you. It's just a season you're going through. And like the Ula Seeker, the majority of your time should be spending looking forward, planning where you're going next. So let's get started. And now we're ready for section 2, and it's the 7 F's of Ula. And I'll start that tomorrow. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Smash the like button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Ta-ta.